Hello, I'm Aditi Dubey, and today we begin a journey across time, across borders, and into the very cells of our bodies to understand how cancer has changed and how we have changed in response. 50 years ago, a cancer diagnosis in Europe felt like a full stop. People whispered the word. The science was limited. The treatments were punishing and survival often unlikely. But something remarkable happened. Across the continent, from the research labs of Heidelberg to cancer registries in Denmark, Europe began paying attention. Not just how people died of cancer, but how they lived with it. And sometimes beyond it. Let's start with incidence. The number of new cancer cases diagnosed each year. Since the 1970s, these numbers have risen. That sounds frightening at first. But much of that increase isn't because more people are falling ill. It's because we are living longer and we are detecting cancers earlier. 50 years ago, many tumors went unnoticed. Today, with widespread screening programs and advanced imaging, we catch cancers earlier and more often. In Germany, the National Mammography Screening Program for breast cancer has reached millions since 2009. Colorectal cancer screening programs in countries like Austria and the Netherlands have quietly saved thousands of lives. But catching cancer is only part of the story. Let's talk about the mortality. The number of people who die from cancer. Despite the rise in diagnosis, mortality rates in most of Europe have declined. Not everywhere, not for every cancer, and not equally, but the trend is real. Between 1980 and today, deaths from stomach cancer have dropped sharply across the Europe. Lung cancer in men is on the decline in places like Germany, thanks to anti-smoking efforts, while women, historically slower to take up smoking, are now being targeted with prevention campaigns of their own. And now, perhaps the most human of all metrics, survival. In the 1970s, the 5-year survival rate for many cancers was dismal. Today, the breast cancer in Western Europe, it exceeds 85%. Childhood leukemia, once a near certain death sentence, is now curable in over 90% of cases in Germany and France. Even more aggressive cancers, like melanoma or lymphoma, now have immunotherapies that would have seemed like science fiction to doctors in 1975. Of course, these gains are not evenly spread. Eastern European countries still face steeper mortality curves, often due to later diagnosis and fewer resources. And even within wealthy countries, disparities persist by income, by education, by postcode. But what we are witnessing is a shift. Cancer is no longer just a disease. It's a demographic indicator, a technological frontier, a societal test. And behind every data point, behind every survival rate or mortality trend is a person. A woman in Lyon catching her tumor early thanks to a routine check. A boy in Warsaw living through leukemia because of European-wide research trials. A man in Prague refusing to let a stage 4 diagnosis to the final word. Cancer, in many ways, have become the great paradox of modern Europe. As we live longer and treat better, we confront it more often. But we also fight it more wisely. So yes, the face of cancer is changing. It wears the lines of an aging continent, the scar of innovation, the quiet resilience of survivors, and the gaze of scientists looking further still. And as we begin the series, we'll explore not just the science and statistics, but the stories and systems that shape them. This isn't just about cancer, it's about what it means to be a human in the age of possibility. Thank you for listening.